Okay. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining. Today we just want to. Today we just want to. Sorry about that. We had some technical issues. It's our first time going live, and we are trying to work our way around this. But thank you so much for joining. Please do let us know in the comments below where you are joining from. And my name is Sean Kearns from Spirit and Truth. We're an online messianic fellowship, and it is so good to have you with us today. Today, I want to share with you about let us keep the feast, celebrating the feast. What are the importance of the feast? Come, let us go up. And so, what I wanted to say is that Micah 4 verses 2 says, "And many nations shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah and to the house of Elohim of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem." So, what can we do to prepare ourselves spiritually and physically to celebrate the feast of Yahuwah? Yahuwah's feast, as He asks us to do, walking in obedience, to His word, walking in obedience to His heart and will, and thus positioning ourselves to stay in His river of life and receive the maximum blessings that He has for us. So, this is a short message today. I want to just, because as we're coming up to Passover, you know, um, how can you prepare yourself for keeping the feast of Yahuwah? Well, what I want to say to you is that you can set aside in your heart a place of desire and determination to celebrate these feasts with the body of Yahusha. You can determine that you're going to love Yahusha by keeping his Torah commands no matter what. That's John chapter 14, verses 15. I would like to turn to that right now. John chapter 14, verses 15. Let's read what that says. And so it says, "If you love me, you shall guard my commands." I want to say to you, you need to be prepared to be an overcomer. Be prepared for spiritual warfare. The enemy, which is the world, the flesh, and the devil, will oppose you all the way. I'm telling you, when you want to start keeping the feast, you will know that you have devils. You will know that you have an enemy that is chasing you. I'm telling you, feels like everything that's coming against you will come up against you. Sometimes in your family, sometimes your children, friends. I want to say to you, don't let down on your faith and your determination to keep the feast in accordance with the word of Yahuwah. Don't wimp out. Don't chicken out, man. Carry on. Know that you will keep this appointed time. You have to understand and respect Yahuwah's appointed times and seasons, places, and people. These are times when Yahuwah commands his people to meet with him and with each other at a place where he has chosen to place his name. And that we can read in Deuteronomy chapter 16, 1 to 17, Leviticus 23, 2 to 44. That is where you can read. That is where you can see that Yahuwah has commanded us. If you are a child of Elohim, if you are born and you have been washed by the blood of Yahusha, you have been saved. You call yourself a child of the seed of Abraham, then you are required to keep the feast, beloved. You've got to know Yahuwah's biblical calendar so that you'll be able to keep the feast on the correct days. The biblical calendar is different than the traditional rabbinic Jewish Hillel 2 calendar. You've got to mark these dates ahead of time on your calendar, arrange for time off from work, and plan to celebrate them with other believers. Yes, it's going to take time to plan and those things. If you would like to get our calendar for the feast days, please do drop in the comments below just your email. We could email it to you. If you would like to join our weekly online Shabbat meetings as well, please just drop it on there. I'll give you a time also after this to scan the code to join our WhatsApp group for the communications as well. But you know that you can be with other believers. There's ways and means we can celebrate this. You have to understand the importance of his feasts in the life of the redeemed believer and the central part they play in his plan of redemption, his plan of reconciliation, his plan of salvation. Set aside your feast tithe money so that you can have resources to keep the feast. When you go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, now let us look at that. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 22 to 26. Yes, we are instructed to set aside feast tithe money. 14, 22 to 26, it says, "You shall tithe without fail all the yield of your grain, and the field brings forth by year by year. And you shall eat before Yahuwah your Elohim in the place where he chooses to make his name dwell. The tithe of your grain and your new wine and your oil and of the firstlings of your herds and your sheep, so that you learn to revere Yahuwah your Elohim always. But when the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to bring the tithe, or when the place where Yahuwah Elohim has chosen to put his name is too far from you, when Yahuwah your Elohim is Barakah, blessed you, then it says, then you shall give it in silver, and shall take the silver in your hand and go to the place which Yahuwah your Elohim has chosen." So there we can see that Yahuwah instructs us that we do set aside money for the feasts of our tithe. We have to set it aside, a second tithe. So you would keep on tithing as normal, but you'd put a second tithe away. So that when the feast happens, you will have money to enjoy the feast. And I want you to also know that it is Yahuwah's will for you and for me to keep the feast, since they are forever. Leviticus 23:41, Matthew 5:17 to 19. Have faith that you will be there, regardless of whether it looks like you can't afford it or not. If you have the desire, you will get there. Yahuwah will make a way according to your faith, beloved. But what are the benefits of keeping the feast? I want to share with you just a few benefits, 10 benefits. You will come to know the heart, the will, the ways, and the love of the Father like never before. Your spiritual walk will deepen when you follow the feast. You will be refreshed and energized spiritually. You will feel spiritually bonded and knit together with your brethren in a very special way. You will receive intense spiritual teaching that you cannot get anywhere else in any other way. You will make some awesome memories with your family and friends. You will have a great time. After all, it is a feast. And you will walk away forever changed, because you know why? You have obeyed Yahuwah and he met with you. He reaches down, beloved, to kiss you, his spiritual bride, and to love you in a special way on his feasts. So I want to encourage you, why don't you give the feast a chance? Move away from Babylon. Come away from those pagan feasts. But come on, celebrate the feast that our Father has put out for us in his word. And come and love, allow him to love on you and me, and be blessed. If you want to know more about the feast, please drop a message in the comments below, and we are able to reach out to you. And please, if you want to join our weekly Shabbats as well, scan the QR code on the screen right now. You'll join our communications group on WhatsApp. For now, we are based out in South Africa, Somerset West in Cape Town. And so to join our weekly meetings, please go on and scan that and be a part of our community. And now I want to just speak a blessing over you. Now may Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon you and be gracious towards you. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom. I want to say thank you, beloved. Thank you for being a part of this, and I just trust that you will make a decision to serve Father and follow the feasts. And yes, Shabbat Shalom.